Hey guys, welcome back. This is History of Power Rangers, Season 1, Episode 27 of my show, but this is about Episode 30. Now, before I actually start talking about it, I just want to mention something very quickly before I start. Since we're at the 30 segment, that means we're kind of at the third way mark for the series. What I mean by that is because there's 60 episodes, so now that we're on 30 of 60, we're at kind of like the third way mark of the series. Well, at least the third way mark of the first season for the series, I mean. And once we get to the 40, then we're kind of going to be at the halfway mark. I just thought I'd mention that before I actually started talking about this episode. Oh, and what I am going to ask you again so far is when we get to the halfway mark of the first season, I'm just going to mention this one last time before I get to the halfway mark, and then I'll mention it again when I do the video for episode 40 of season 1. Once we get to the halfway mark, I would like you guys to at least just leave a comment in the comment box. We're not at the halfway mark quite yet, but we're getting close to it. So when I get to the halfway mark, when we get to the halfway mark for videos, I would like to ask a little bit of a favor of you guys to leave a comment in the comment box. Now I'm gonna mention that again when I get to the 40, but I just figured I'd mention it now since we're kind of at the third way mark. Okay, now getting back into it. This is History of Power Rangers Season 1. Episode 27 of my show, but this is about episode 30. Now, episode 30 in the original Power Rangers series is known as the Rockstar. Now, before anyone mentions anything about the title, I'm just going to mention the name The Rockstar isn't the fact that it has to do with a rock and roll group. It's actually the name of a monster that's going to be the monster that the Rangers fight for this episode. I just thought I just figured I'd mention that before I continued, just so that anyone wouldn't be confused with why this episode I'm talking about is named that. I just thought I'd get that out of the way. Anyway, what happens is basically 4 of the 5 Rangers are getting stuff in the rad book to go for like a day at the beach kind of thing. I think it's either a picnic or a day at the beach. It might be a picnic and stuff. And Jason is telling them that they're gonna have a good time, and then Kimberly asks Jason why doesn't he come with them. Actually, I think it's Kimberly that asks him why doesn't he come with them. And then Zack says that basically it won't be the same without him, and basically he says that they've got enough room in there, almost enough room. But Jason basically says that in this episode he said that he'd like to, but he'd also like to spend time with his cousin Jeremy while he's in town. And Jeremy's character in this episode is only going to show up in this episode. He's going to be like a side character. Anyway, basically what happens is after the Rangers leave, basically what happens is after the 4 of 5 Rangers in the Rat Bug leave, Squat gets excited about that because he thinks that I'm guessing because he thinks that all 5 of them are in there. So he goes to tell Rita that this is just the chance she'd been waiting for, and then basically what happens is it goes back into where Squat is on the moon, and he's asking Rita what her plan is this time, and then basically what happens is after that, basically what happens is she said that it's defined the mirror of destruction. Now, before I continue on, I'm just gonna mention something here. This is actually the first time one of the monsters that the Rangers will fight in this series is one that is technically not created by Rita. I'll explain later when I get to the point where it does. And this is technically the first episode in the series where there's technically not exactly an object-based monster, but it's not an object-based monster this time, but the Mirror of Destruction does play a part in it. And the reason why I'm mentioning the Mirror of Destruction is this is the first of 2 times in Power Rangers that a mirror will be one of the devices that the enemies use against the Rangers. I say first of 2 times because it'll happen once again in season 2 of Power Rangers. I'm not gonna say what episode it is because I want to save season 2 for when I get to that, but I just thought I'd mention it because of that. And then Rita says that it's to find the Mirror of Destruction, and then basically Squat says that the one that can even destroy like super putties, and then she said that's right, and then basically what happens is basically what happens after that is basically what happens after that is Babu inquires about the mirror that that mirror's power will destroy anything that is reflected in it, including the Power Rangers and stuff. And then basically what happens is after that, then it goes to where Rita, then after she tells them the plan about getting the mirror, then it goes to where Jason is with his cousin Jeremy on the beach, and first what actually happens is they're walking towards the beach area, and then basically what happens is Jeremy inquires about Vulcan's skull, and then basically what happens after that is oh my god, I'm sorry, but this is kind of hilarious because in this part of the episode, Bulk and Skull are eating a sloppy Joe kind of pizza. Oh my god. And then basically what happens is after a little bit of a commotion that Bulk and Skull try to cause with Jason and his cousin, after that they manage to defeat them, and then they go to train their martial arts moves, and then basically what happens is after that, basically what happens is while they're training their martial arts moves, Jason is helping Jeremy out with practice, and then basically what happens after that is, after Jeremy messes up one of these techniques, Jason helps him out in the episode to learn the better way, and then after he tells Jeremy about how martial arts helped him kind of mature and stuff, and then basically Rita's looking through a repulsive scope, and she's like, "What's Jason doing there?" And then Squat basically said that it looks like he's doing martial arts, but then Rita gets upset with Squat because at the beginning of the episode, when he noticed that the rat bug was driving off, he told, after that he told Rita that the Rangers were gone. But this one isn't really Squat's fault, because he didn't know at the time that Jason wasn't in the rat bug with the others, so he just assumed. But Rita gets mad with him anyway. I'm just mentioning that as a little bit of a small thing there. I just wanted to mention that because the reason I wanted to mention that was because of the fact, you see, I wanted to mention it because, again, Squat didn't know that Jason wasn't in there, so it's a technicality kind of thing, but it's okay. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Anyway, Rita said that now finding the mirror will have to wait until her putties have taken care of Jason. And she said that's gonna happen right now, and she sent the putties down to the beach to attack Jeremy and Jason, and then they start fighting the putties. And then after they manage to defeat the putties that time around, Jeremy said that he always heard about Rita and the putties, but he never thought he'd actually get to see them. And then Jason kind of makes a little bit of a sarcastic kind of joke about hoping he never has to see them again, which is kind of a little bit sarcastic. I'm not really sure what the actual term is. It might be sarcasm or something, I'm not sure. But after that, they start fishing afterward, and then they manage to pull this bottle out of the water, which contains a piece of paper. Now that piece of paper is actually the map that leads towards the Mirror of Destruction object. Oh my god! Anyway, and then when Rita finds out about but what happens is, after Jeremy originally opens the bottle, the ground starts shaking and stuff like that, and then Jason tells Jeremy to go hide until he has somewhere until it's safe, and then he goes on his own to contact Zordon on the communicator, and then basically Zordon said that tells Jason that he's picking up some kind of unusual disturbance within the morphing grid, and he better take Jeremy to a safe place. And then basically what happens is, after that, then he goes back to where Jeremy is, and then afterward he asks Jeremy if he's okay, and then basically he said that, "Is he okay? Man, what a way to start a vacation." And then he shows him the map, and then Rita said that the map, Rita looking through her repulsor scope said that the map leads to the Mirror of Destruction, and once she finds it, Jeremy and Jason will face the same fate as everyone else. Everyone who has fallen victim to the Mirror of Destruction. And he does this little flashback to a knight who found it, and it destroys him, basically. And then basically what happens after that is Rita sends Scorpina down to Earth to retrieve the map. And then this is actually going to sound kind of funny, but this is actually going to be the first actual time in Power Rangers that the monster that the Rangers fight isn't, well, it's going to be technically the second time, but it's going to be the first one where the monster doesn't have to, actually third time, because if you count the first part of the two-part Island of Illusion video that I did, which I did separately, because as I told you guys I was going to do 2 or 3 separate videos dependent on if it was a 2 or 3 part episode, but I was going to do an hour-long video because of the fact that if it's a 4 or 5 part episode, because 2 or 3 separate videos for a 4 or 5 part episode is a little much. I just wanted to mention that again because I kind of brought it up. Anyway, the reason, this is actually one of the, actually, now that I mentioned it, this is actually the second time where the monster that, well, this is actually the first time in Power Rangers where one of the monsters that's used to battle the Rangers is a monster not used by either Finster putting it through the Monster-matic or really using a spell or something to bring up a monster of her own. And then I just thought I'd mention that. And then anyway, getting back into it with Babu says that mirror's power will destroy anything that is reflected in it. And this is going to sound kind of funny, but when it does that, it does a little bit of a flashback memory to a knight who found the Mirror of Destruction, and it basically completely destroyed him. And then they say they gotta get the map, so Rita sends Scorpina down to Earth to get the map from Jeremy to retrieve it. And then basically, after she's on Earth, basically what happens is she creates a monster which is known as the Rockstar just by snapping her fingers. Now the Rockstar monster, as Billy will say before the end of this video that I'm talking about, of this episode that I'm talking about, he'll say how idiosyncratic, which is because the monster is known as the Rockstar, which is basically a monster that is composed completely of stone and stuff. Anyway, getting back into it, after Scorpina creates the Rockstar monster by snapping her fingers, she has the Rockstar monster attack Jason and shoot a bolt. And this is the funniest part. The Rockstar monster actually shoots a boulder from its body, which sticks to Jason. And then after that, Jason tells Scorpina that she's not going to get away with this. And then basically, Zordon then contacts the rest of the Power Rangers to let them know that Jason's in trouble. So they go to help him. And then basically what happens after that is but before what happens is, before that thing with Zordon, Babu tells Scorpina that they gotta find, actually, can't remember, the kid with, he said that they've gotta find the kid with the map, which is Jeremy, and then basically, what happens is, then Zordon manages to contact the other Rangers to let them know that Jason's in trouble. And then basically what happens is after that, after the other Rangers help Jason get the rocks off of him, he tells the Rangers that they gotta find Jeremy because he's got the map that Scorpina's after, and then they start looking for him, and and then they manage to find him. And actually, what happens is, while they're looking for him, Jeremy is also using the map to look for the Mirror of Destruction, and then he finds it, and then basically what happens is, then the Rockstar monster manages to find him, and he manages to get the... Actually, what happens is after that, the Rangers morph to fight the Rockstar monster, and then basically what happens is, while they're looking for Jeremy as well as fighting the Rockstar, they're fighting him in this this park pool based area, and he's shooting out these rocks, and there's also putties coming at them and stuff. Now, basically what happens is after that, then Jeremy manages to find the map, but then the Rockstar monster finds him as well, and then basically what happens is after that is he opens the mirror, which causes the Rockstar monster to be completely obliterated, and then he tosses the mirror away, but then it falls into Scorpina's hands, and then basically what happens is then Rita makes Scorpina grow, and then Goldar comes. Actually, I'm just going to backtrack here since I'm getting close to the end of the episode. I'm just going to backtrack a little bit. When Jeremy was still looking for the mirror, some putties were also looking for it, so he manages to distract them and stuff. That's the only backtrack I'm going to do. I just wanted to mention that since I'm kind of getting close to the end of the episode. Anyway, basically what happens is Rita then makes Scorpina grow using her magic wand, and then Goldar comes in to help Scorpina fight, and then basically what happens is after that, using the mirror, they open it, and then they try to shield the Megazord's eyes, because they don't want to look at the mirror, because if they do, the Megazord will be completely destroyed. Which kind of makes sense in this case. I mean, anyway, continuing on with what I was saying earlier, a little bit of a misfire afterward causes the mirror to fly up into the air, and then they use the Mega Power Sword to destroy it. And then after they destroy the mirror, actually what happens is, after the Rangers start fighting Scorpina and Goldar and the Megazord, Jeremy says that that's way cool, and the Power Rangers to the rescue. And then basically what happens after that is, after they manage to destroy the mirror and stuff, Scorpina and Goldar get away, and then after that, basically what happens is, the Rangers are thanking Jeremy for his help in dealing with the putties and stuff, and then he mentions Brains before Brawn, and then Billy, who is the Blue Ranger, which is his Blue Ranger disguise, says that basically he said that an excellent model of fine. And Jeremy's wondering if Jason's already in, and the Rangers are basically saying that he's probably okay because they don't want to reveal their identities because of the three Ranger code rules that they had to uphold when they first became Rangers and stuff. I just thought I'd mention that again because of the whole thing where they're trying to reassure him that Jason's okay, even though he is the Red Ranger, but they don't want Jeremy to know that because of the fact that, because if he did know, that would be kind of breaking one of the rules as the Power Rangers. The only times in the Power Rangers series I find it's okay, personally, is if it's like on accident kind of thing. Like if it's on accident and stuff. What I mean by accident is there's a couple of times in each of the Power Rangers series where a certain character will learn one of the Rangers' identities. I just thought I'd mention that, but it's under different kinds of circumstances. The first time that'll happen will be season 2, which will be next season. I just thought I'd mention that because it'll take place in one of the later episodes of next season. I just thought I'd mention it. Anyway, getting back into it, then it goes back to where the Rangers in their human forms are in the youth center, and then basically Jeremy is explaining about his day, and then after he explains about the Power Rangers, when he's explaining about his adventure and stuff, basically what happens is he mentions the Rockstar monster, which, as I said, Billy said that's really idiosyncratic, which I don't know what that term actually means anyway, but I just thought I'd mention it. And then he, actually, what he says is he says first about the Power Rangers, and then Ernie gets a little ecstatic about that, saying that he's met the Power Rangers and stuff. And then, as I said, Jeremy tells them about Scorpina, who is the Scorpion Lady, and a monster known as the Rockstar. And then Billy said that's how idiosyncratic, which I don't know what that actually means. And then basically what happens is, after that, he tells them about the mirror destruction that blew the monster up into a zillion pieces, and then about how the Rangers battled the Scorpion monster and another monster, which was Goldar and a Megazord, and then they got away. And then he manages. Then Jason says that he thinks his cousin had a wild time, and then Jeremy inquires that to Jason about, because he's asking him what he was up to that whole time. But because of, like I said, because of the whole thing because of the three Ranger code rules, he tries to get out of not telling him by saying that he's got a martial arts class he's got to teach, and he tells Jeremy to come with him. And that's basically where this episode stops. So if you guys like this video when I post it today, just please give it the real best you guys can. And I'll see you guys next time. And if I don't have I'll check my battery on my iPad first. If I don't have enough battery, I will upload this tomorrow. But if I do have enough, I will upload this today. So either way, until next time, guys, like I always tell you with this series, may the power protect you always.